Alright, welcome to Just Magic the Gathering. I was looking to do something a little different today. I think, going to enter a draft. I was looking at Duskmourn, and specifically, like, what cards in Duskmourn I'm after. There's a bunch of cards in Duskmourn that I have interest in. All of the Endurings come from this set. The rooms come from this set. There are quite a few cards that I'm interested in from Duskmourn. The Dollmaker shop. I was working on trying to build out one of these decks. If I could get another Dollmaker shop, I'd be pretty happy with that. And almost any of the rooms, some of these rooms are pretty nice. I was trying to figure out, I did take some time before the starting recording to kind of go through and be like, what cards in here am I after? Because the set itself plays weird. I have not traditionally done very well in my Duskmourn drafts. Duskmourn has a couple different ways you can play. White-blue for an eerie investigation. Blue-black for eerie domination. Eerie cards I'm also after. If I go into the Seeker deck I was looking to build out, the Seeker, the Lurker in the Deep, is from Duskmourn Alchemy. And there's a few of these that are in the Duskmourn set. Oh, Eerie plays well, not with this deck. Even though that deck, I'm after some Duskmourn cards. My initial Glimmery deck. This deck has more out of that set. And Eerie works with all of my enchantments that come in. So, yeah. Eerie is enchantment based. And there's a couple of ways you can play, because you can also, this is the set they introduced, Manifesting Dread. Room after room, the house never ends. Trap your opponents going in circles as you unlock rooms. There's a condition where if you, a blue card, it's like if you unlock 8 rooms, you win the game. Childhood Fears. Fill your deck with toys and clowns that have 2 or less power and start attacking. This is the Toy Factory. And then the Manifest Dread is, I can put a card face down and then flip it up for its cost, and it can come as a surprise. I don't know. Worst case scenario, for my 5,000 coins, I'm going to get the 3 packs I get to pick from, the 1 pack, and the 50 gems. So there isn't a lot of loss even if I bust out early. Plus, I gotta go through and pick my cards. So, I am... Oh, and it's... I'm not drafting with people. This is a quick draft. So I gotta take my time and choose. I'll still try and make this quick, not to, I guess, waste other people's time. The Ballstad Worm. This spell can't be countered. It has Trample and Haste and Delirium. Return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. So for 5, you can cast it, and for 4, you can bring it back out as long as you have 4 or more card types amongst the cards in your graveyard. I kind of like that. Ethereal Armor. For each enchantment you control and has First Strike. The First Strike can be huge. The Defiled Crypt. Whenever 1 or more cards leaves your graveyard, create a 2/2 black horror enchantment creature token. It only triggers once. When you unlock this door, return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. For 1, you get to pull something out of your graveyard, and that's kind of nice. Murder. Oh, the Inquisitive Glimmerer. I exchanged for some of these. I mean, I kind of like this card. Here's the main choice I have to make of what colors am I pulling into. I have more options here than I care. Going for control, I think, would be one of the better options. Ta 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 ta. That does pull me into black, and I think black is in some ways one of the weaker if I play it mono. In a way, I was almost wondering like red blue. I really hate to pass up a rare to go with a common though, but the ability to control just by kill. Sacrifice a creature or enchantment and you can exile. So this would work with like the glimmers, any of my enchantments. I can sacrifice my own enchantments or creatures. But in an enchantment heavy or like with the rooms and things like that, I think the intention is that you sacrifice things that don't do you any good anymore. That's probably a mistake. Let's see what my second pick can be. No more rares or mythics. I'm down into artifact equipment, manifest dread, then attach it to it. Equipped creature has menace. I kind of like the looks of that. The saw, equipped creature gets +2/+0. Whenever equipped creature attacks, you may sacrifice a permanent other than the creature or this equipment. If you do, you can draw a card. I don't really like that. The Piranha Fly, it enters tapped as flying. Gets +2/+2 and lifelink until end of turn. As an instant, that's pretty nice. Here I'm almost questioning continuing to pull into black. The manifest dread under the skin. When this equipment enters manifest dread, attach it to it as flying. I kind of like that. Sorry, I think I actually pulled one of these at one point. Grab the prize, and it's an additional cost to cast the spell, discard a card, then draw 2 cards. If the discarded card wasn't a land, it can do 2 damage to each opponent. The underwater tunnel. Not one of the nicer doors. Tunnel Surveyor. When it enters, create a 1/1 Glimmer enchantment creature. And an attack in the box. Whenever this creature attacks, you may have it get +4/+0 until end of turn. If you do, you can sacrifice it at the end of your end step. Jump Scare. Until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+2, gains flying, and becomes a horror enchantment, in addition to its other types. Oh. Choices. The Ley Line of Transformation. If it's in your hand, you may begin with on the battlefield. When it enters, you can choose a creature type. Creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. The same is true for creatures, spells you control, and creature cards you don't own that aren't on the battlefield. Creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. So you can make like everything toys or everything warriors. So this would proc well with something like the War Leader's Bond. Since I am pulling into blue, the Bottomless Pool. Whenever you unlock a door, return up to 1 target creature to its owner's hand. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. I don't have one of these. You get 2 mana that you can normally spend. Going back, I like the blue over it. The Meat Locker is also kind of nice, although it's a common. But it puts a tap with 2 stun counters when it comes in for 3. And then whenever you unlock this door, you can draw 3 cards and then discard. So it works as a one-time card draw too. The Flesh Burrower has a 2/2 with Death Touch. Whenever this creature attacks, another target creature you control gains Death Touch until end of turn. That's interesting. Possible Inferno. Deals 6 damage to target creature for 5. If there are 4 more in your graveyard, exile the top card of your library and you can play it. I'm going to go with the pool. I'm not terribly happy with how this is shaping up yet. Lands you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color. When you unlock this door, mill 4 cards and then return up to 2 permanents from among them into your hand. Which is kind of nice depending on what you're going for. Yep, please. Fear of the Dark? Whenever this creature attacks, if defending player controls no glimmer creatures, it gains menace and death touch until end of turn. Looks like I'm pretty heavily committed into blue and black at this point. The Creeping Peeper. Tap and add 1 blue. Spend this mana only to cast an enchantment spell or unlock a door, or turn a card face up. At this point I am running fairly heavy manifest, so that could be nice. But more counter and manifest, I like the dual ability there. Vengeful Possession. In a way, I almost just want to pull this because I have seen this used so effectively where, like, I can steal your creature and then use somebody like Sephiroth to kill it and get me card draw. After I use it to attack you and deal damage back to you. The Cracked Skull. When it enters, look at target player's hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. That player discards it. When enchanted creature is dealt damage, destroy it. The Vengeful Possession. If I mean... What do I want here? I don't really have much for creatures. I have no creatures at this point, and that's kind of a bad thing. When this creature enters, each player discards a card. If you discarded a card this way, draw a card. So, for 4, you get a 2/2 that works as potential card draw. I'm not a huge fan of that. These going back to for 3, you can get the same card draw mechanic. I don't know. The control for the Cracked Skull can be really handy, especially for something that's big and it's like I can now kill it with a 1/1. Doesn't matter if it's 10/10, as long as it doesn't have trample, I can do 1 damage and kill it. That might have been a mistake, but... Final Vengeance. I haven't really pulled much for... I need to get into some creatures. I think I like the Erratic Apparition over... It's a flyer with vigilance. The Resurrected Cultist can come back for 4. Grab the prize. Alright. Waltz of Rage. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature. Until end of turn, whenever a creature you control dies, exile the top card of your library. You may play it until your end of next turn. Unwilling Vessel. Eerie, whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, put a possession counter on this creature. When this creature dies, put an XX blue spirit creature token with flying, where X is the number of possession counters on this creature. And it has vigilance. I kind of like that, that's for sure. Or going all the way back down to there's another murder. I need creatures really bad. Ley Line of the Void. I don't have basically any ley lines. Oh, the baseball bat. This is actually kind of nice. So when this enchantment enters, attach it to target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Whenever equipped creature attacks, tap up to one target creature. So if they only have like one defender, you can keep tapping them out. This, yeah, it's one of the first enchantments. Oh, and Trapped in the Screen. In a way, I forgot that was in this set. That is a good control. And has Ward 2. When this enchantment enters, exile target artifact, creature, enchantment, and opponent controls until this leaves the battlefield. So if you can deal with it, it comes back to you, but it's pretty nice for control. I'm getting a little sidetracked. If a card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Instead. No more graveyards for your opponents. That can be handy. Oh, and another Nowhere to Run. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, they mill 2 cards. That's kind of nice. I like the control. The Friendly Teddy. When this creature dies, each player draws a card. Paranormal Analyst. When you manifest dread, put a card. When you manifest dread, put a card you put into your graveyard this way into your hand. I like that. I could pick up another Vengeful Possession. I need the creatures. Even though I really like the let's play a game. Delirium. Choose one. If there are 4 or more card types amongst cards in your graveyard, choose one or more instead. So creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 until end of turn. Each opponent discards 2 cards, and each opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. So if you have 4 cards types in your graveyard, you can do all 3. Kind of like that. This is, going back to Knight's Control, destroy target creature if it's tapped. This plays really well when there's another white card in a later set that's one cheaper than this. But they both, for 2, if it's tapped, you can destroy a creature. The Underwater Tunnel. The Fear of Lost Teeth. Whenever this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target, and you gain 1 life. So this is pretty nice for Bottomless Ripper and the Ticket Booth and the Tunnel of Hate. As far as a common, I have plenty of commons I can exchange for picking up things like that. Turns Inside Out. When it dies this turn, Manifest Dread. So this could be nice too as an instant. Gets +3/+0, and you can kill whatever it got declared a defender on, and when it dies, you get to replace it with Manifest. This creature dies, manifest dread. In a way, going back to I need creatures. I'm at 4 creatures and 14 non-creatures. I really hate to pull... But it's a dual use, because once they die, kill it, it can come back as Manifest Dread. This creature can't be blocked by glimmers. Survival. At the beginning of your second main phase, if it's tapped, you may search your library for a card and put it into your graveyard, then shuffle. So that relies on being able to pull things out of your graveyard, and I have nothing in my deck to do that at this point. Winter's Intervention deals 2 damage to target creature, and you gain 2 life. The 3/1 creature for 2 that can't be blocked by glimmers is kind of nice. I don't know how I'm going to slim this deck down yet. The Haunted Screen. You can tap to add white or black. You can pay 1 life to add blue or red or green. And for 7, you can put 7 +1/+1 counters on this artifact and becomes a 0/0 spirit creature in addition to its other types. The Derelict Addict and the Widow's Walk. When you unlock this door, draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets +1/+0 and gains Death Touch until end of turn. Target creature can't be blocked this turn, and it works for card draw. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, this creature can attack this turn as though it didn't have Defender. Oh, choices. Now I'm getting down into where it should be quite a bit easier to pick. When this creature enters, you may discard any number of cards. When you do, that up to that many target creatures each gets -2, -2. Interesting. How many cracked skulls did I end up with? I've already have 2. This is going to be a 40-card deck instead of a 60-card deck, so it's more like 13, 13, 13. I do have to make sure that, going back to, I don't want to get too high. I do need creatures. That's the reason I did that. Whenever this attacks, if defending player controls no glimmer, against menace and death touch. Not a huge fan, but I don't have a lot of options. The Saw. A Boyless Ripper. And another cracked skull. Alright. Valgoth, the Terror Eater. I'm back to pulling things out of my... An Elder Demon. Has flying, lifelink, and ward. Sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. If a card you don't control would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. During your turn, you may play cards exiled with Valgoth. If you cast a spell this way... How did you exile with them? If a card you put into... During your turn, you may play cards exiled with Valgoth. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. I kind of like the looks of that, I have to admit. Or I really like the looks of that. You have to kill one of yours and it's like Cracked Skull plus plus. Yeah, it's cheaper than Cracked Skull, plus you get the sacrifice on it. And think about having a 9 casting cost. Valgoth, Terror Eater. And that's going to weight my deck heavy up. But I need the creature in a way. I need to make this quicker too. The Glassworks in the Shattered Yard. Deals 4 damage to target creature an opponent controls. At the beginning of your end step, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. The Tunnel Surveyor. There's not a lot in black or blue for my choice. This is an interesting one. When this enchantment enters, you may sacrifice another enchantment or creature. If you do, draw 2 cards. When you sacrifice this enchantment, manifest Dread. So it very much relies on the sacrifice mechanic, but not only do you get card draw out of it, you can, when you sacrifice this, get a creature out of it. I mean, that'll be my 4th Cracked Skull, which I don't really want. The Derelict Attic and the Widow's Walk. What do we have? Conductive Machete. When this equipment enters, manifest Dread, attach it to the creature. I like it. Oh, and this is the one that allows me to pull out. Unable to Scream, though, I'll take. It's Control. The Derelict Crypt. Bottomless Pool in the Locker Room. Don't I already have one of those? Yeah. Get out. Choose one. You can counter target creature spell or enchantment spell. Return 1 or 2 target creatures and or enchantments to you own to your hand. So it allows you to replay your doors, which is pretty nice. Say its name. How many? I have 2 murders. I'm pretty heavy in control, which is good. And things like this don't count as a creature, but they do because it automatically manifests. I'm gonna have to do some work on the Haunted Screen, the Tunnel Surveyor, Fear of Lost Teeth. It's a cheap creature. Don't I already have 4 Cracked Skulls? No, I'm only at 3. That'll just go into filling the vault. Alright, that is that. It's going to take some slimming down, and I'm going to be a little shy on creatures, but I will do that offline and give the video or give the deck introduction the deck introduction when I go to run my first match with it. But yeah, with that, I'm looking forward to giving this a try, or trying to shape it up.